The nation faces crime and murder in major cities, a rising inflation rate, and a supply chain crisis that threatens to spoil the holiday season. So what's the Biden administration focused on? Parents protesting critical race theory at school board meetings, of course. Ohio Senate candidate J.D. Vance has been critical of the Attorney General and the DOJ's targeting of parents. He tweeted out, "Garland is quite clearly trying to chill free speech and silence dissent on behalf of the Democrat Party. His attempt to weaponize the federal government to target Joe Biden's political enemies must not be tolerated. Garland should immediately resign." Joining me now, Ohio candidate for the U.S. Senate and author of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance. J.D., thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
What's going on here? When you have the top law enforcement officer in the United States federal government putting out a memo that seems to be nice, free speech, you got parents, be ashamed if something happened to it, courtesy of the FBI. A lot of people view that as very concerning, and it seems that this issue is not going away anytime soon. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Attorney General Garland is basically weaponizing the people's government against them. And, one of the things our founding fathers really liked about this country is that we really cared about self-government. We really cared about participating in the government of our local communities. And that's the sort of thing that Garland is basically turning the Attorney General or turning the FBI against. He's saying, if you dare show up at these school board meetings, if you dare protest the conditions of your own community, we're going to come after you. And that is necessarily going to have a silencing effect on people's speech. It's going to make people terrified to go and speak their mind, which is one of the great things about American democracy, is that we have parents willing to go and fight for their kids and fight for the interests of their children. I think it's really disgusting stuff, and I think it's really unprecedented. A lot of what Joe Biden has done is bad. A lot of it's a disaster. I think using the FBI like this against parents is really unprecedented. That's why I suggested he should resign.
I mean, the left, much to what the liberal media and politicians have to say, are all backing up this notion that critical race theory isn't an issue. I want to play you a montage of Democrats who make this claim that there is no CRT. It doesn't exist in schools.
Violent looking, angry, spewing parents outside of these schools.
Individuals intent on creating chaos for the sake of creating chaos.
These actions could be the equivalent to a form of domestic terrorism.
This becomes a security crisis, in a sense, for the nation.
This may also mobilize even more law enforcement to be at these meetings.
It is dangerous to our children when the parents themselves are the school bullies.
I think one of the worst things is the actions at the board meetings. The calling of names. Tyrant, Marxist, communist.
We've never seen anything like we're seeing at these school boards now.
Well, what are they seeing at the school board meetings, JD?
Well, of course, if you put on a BLM shirt and throw a Molotov cocktail at a federal courthouse, you're not a domestic terrorist. What does make you a domestic terrorist, of course, is calling someone a bad name at a school board meeting. These people are incredibly weak-willed, and I think that at the end of the day, this just shows that the left is really willing to use power. They're willing to use the FBI. They're willing to use the tech companies. They're willing to use their authority to make it harder for conservatives to live their lives and speak their mind. We should take an important lesson from this, that our government is not really on our side anymore. It's really being weaponized against us. If there's a silver lining in all this, I think it's making parents realize, on the one hand, this is happening, and on the other hand, we can't continue to sit silent. People aren't actually responding well to this. They're telling the Attorney General to go to hell, which is exactly what they should tell him to do.